Europe must stop being naive. In his New Year's address, French President Emmanuel Macron didn't mince words, delivering a bold warning to a continent trying to keep pace with rapidly changing global dynamics. With the Ukraine-Russia gas deal now a thing of the past and tensions heating up in the Middle East, Macron painted a clear picture. Europe is facing mounting security threats and can no longer count on others to step in and protect it. He stressed the urgency of Europe standing on its own 2 feet in a world that feels more unstable by the day. Referring to recent events like the conflict in Syria, election interference in Moldova, Georgia, and Romania, and rising terrorism across Europe, Macron made it clear Europe can't afford to outsource its security anymore.
The latest events in Syria, the manipulation of elections in Moldavia, Georgia, Romania, and terrorist attacks in Europe and in our neighboring countries show that our security and the proper functioning of our democracies can never be taken for granted. This is why Europe can no longer delegate its security and defense to other powers. In 2025, France must continue to invest in military rearmament to guarantee our sovereignty, the protection of our interests, and the safety of our compatriots. Europe, for its part, will have to speed up its efforts to take charge of its own defense, security, and borders.
But Macron's message wasn't just about defense. He also warned that Europe's over-reliance on others, whether it's trade deals or external support, could leave the continent vulnerable in the long run. Now is the time to rethink how Europe approaches its future.
Europeans must stop being naive. We must say no to the trade laws laid down by others, which only we still respect. We must say no to all the things that make us dependent on others, without compensation and without preparing for our future. On the contrary, we need a European awakening, a scientific, intellectual, technological, industrial, agricultural, energy, and environmental awakening. To do this, we need to move faster.
This call to action gained even more weight in the aftermath of the Ukraine-Russia gas transit crisis, which has left EU countries scrambling to find reliable energy sources. While Macron's words on the global stage were firm, he didn't shy away from admitting his domestic missteps, reflecting on his decision to dissolve the National Assembly and call for early elections, an ambitious move that ultimately resulted in a hung parliament dominated by far-right parties. Macron acknowledged the political instability it caused.
I must recognize tonight that the dissolution has, for the moment, created more division in the Assembly than solutions for the French. If I decided to dissolve, it was to give you back your voice, to regain clarity and avoid the immobility that threatened. But lucidity and humility command the recognition that, at this hour, this decision produced more instability than serenity, and I take my full part for that.
In a shift from his usual approach, Macron hinted that referendums could be a key tool in resolving crucial national issues in the coming year. While he didn't directly use the term, he suggested that the French people might soon have a chance to weigh in on decisive matters that could shape the country's future. Macron's remarks reflect the challenges of a year defined by global tensions, domestic struggles, and the growing pressure for Europe to find its own way forward. Whether his vision of a European awakening will strike a chord with EU leaders is still unclear. But one thing is certain: Macron is determined to guide both France and the continent towards greater self-reliance in an increasingly unpredictable world.